Ladies and gentlemen, Trump won a huge victory the other day, like I said he would. The Supreme Court, when asked by the special counsel Jack Smith, can a president be indicted, refused to even answer, essentially stating that Trump had presidential immunity. They didn't have to wait for a lower court. They gave the special counsel a monumental defeat and a biblical victory for Trump. All the Supreme Court had to do was back the special counsel's view that Trump was not immune from prosecution because of a speech that coincided with criminal behavior. The speech itself did not lead to criminal behavior. He did not tell anyone to commit a crime. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation found no evidence that he tried to overthrow the country. Okay, you'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe that he tried to rebel or overthrow the country while people are being let into the building, doors are open, and they're walking peacefully, and some have already been acquitted. Yes, there was criminal behavior, but the glee and the emphasis and the focus, the laser focus on mayhem and chaos outside the building that fateful day in January, which terrible day, shouldn't have happened. I don't see the same coverage from CNN when they were in front of a building set ablaze and they said, well, it's fiery but mostly peaceful. All you heard that summer with $1 to $2 billion in property damage was, well, it's mostly peaceful. But with that logic, what happened that day with Trump was mostly peaceful. But see, Democrats and media and wonderful morally superior liberals don't like their talking points used against them. So it wasn't mostly peaceful. It was an attempt at trying to overthrow the country. And so they make absurd leaps of logic as always, and Trump, at the end of the day, gets a huge Supreme Court victory because of these stupid leaps of logic. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen, to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications. Go to hagoodman.com. Your super thanks or super chat. The super thanks is below. I will have a live stream in the next couple of days. Probably New Year's Eve. I'll definitely have a live stream. And we're going to do 3 to 4 segments religiously in January and throughout the year till November and beyond. And November of this year is going to be absolutely amazing. This is going to be one of the most historic, important years of our lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just so honored and grateful and thankful to have my viewers, to have you watching. And please be here for the live streams and share this segment everywhere. Like I said, the Patreon is below in the pinned comment. Your Patreon support is greatly appreciated. The special counsel essentially is going to end. They might convict him, but any legitimacy or credibility will go out, will cease to exist once the Supreme Court gives Trump another victory, which is to overturn Colorado's decision. Overturn the Colorado Supreme Court's decision, which is saying that he engaged in a rebellion. Okay, Trump did not engage in a rebellion. Furthermore, he had presidential immunity when he was performing a speech, and he went through the courts. He went through his attorneys. He did not go through any shady or corrupt means to overturn anything. He went through the courts. Media was again gleeful and dancing in the streets, so giddy and happy that Trump lost like 40 court cases or 40 contested cases regarding 2020. Over 40, something like that. Okay. Very bizarre anomalies took place, which needed to be investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other agencies. And of course, because it's Trump, they only go against him. He did not get the media, political support. The Republican Party was weak and ineffective as always, did nothing to help Trump. Try to prove his claims. Very haphazard, quick, how shall I say? I'm trying to use the word county level or state level bureaucratic endeavors took place to try to prove and refute and debunk Trump's claims. These endeavors, of course, were conducted by state-level officials who stood to lose the most if improprieties were found. Again, nothing that Trump has ever said has been categorically refuted by independent or nonpartisan actors, or at least by federal law enforcement agencies. So the Federal Bureau of Investigation, for example, never investigated any of Trump's claims. The Justice Department never truly, William Barr never investigated. The only people who refuted Trump's claims, or the claims of his attorneys, were state-level officials or county-level officials who stood to lose the most. And so they refuted the claims. They said, that's not true. And then media said, these claims were debunked because somebody gave their own viewpoint. But that's like, Trump was never asked, did you work with the Kremlin? And then him saying no, he was never just given the opportunity to say, no, I didn't, this is nonsense. And then that's it, he debunked Russiagate. They went after him forever. And each time he refuted and said, this is nonsense, they never said Trump debunks claims like county level officials. Okay, so those claims were never officially debunked. They were refuted, which is different from categorically showing that his claims were, false or lies. You could say some of his claims were not true, but you can't say all of his claims were false. Many, many anomalies took place, and those anomalies were never addressed. Anyway, you have to prove also that Trump didn't believe what he was saying, which is the stupidest, most absurd vantage point. Trump always believes when Trump says something, he always believes what he's saying. He's not like a Democrat, for example, or a left-leaning person who will always change their tune depending on what media says. Okay, so the vice president said, well, if Trump is telling me to take this, I'm not taking it. Then a couple months later, you better or you're not working. So they change their tune all the time. Trump says he wants this, he wants that, and the Republicans and Democrats, well, mainly Democrats say no, Republicans say, yeah, well, we don't know. But Trump wants a wall, Trump wants Americans home, Trump wants a better economy. He tried to do all of those things, and he got those things done, if not all the way, for the most part. We had record low poverty with Trump. We had record highs in household median income. He brought Americans home, and he had a infinitely less militant. He did not have a hawkish foreign policy like his predecessors. But here, the Federal Bureau of Investigation found no evidence. The Supreme Court will overturn the Colorado verdict stating that he did engage in a rebellion. There was no evidence of a rebellion. The Federal Bureau of Investigation only investigated these types of matters, none of the claims Trump made. When they did investigate the most monumental accusations, whether it was he was an operative of the Kremlin, which was complete nonsense from the beginning, a conspiratorial theory, the definition of one, they found nothing, but they kept looking. Now the Federal Bureau of Investigation found nothing. So how on earth are you going to get him off of state ballots? Then he's not even charged for rebellion. Excuse me, he's charged with a whole bunch of other things, which, by the way, the special counsel will try to desperately get him convicted on, and when he becomes president, regains the Oval Office, which he's on his way to doing, okay, democracy, if it functions at all, we'll see that Trump regains the Oval Office. This entire special counsel will end completely. But it's already basically ended, because once you get the Supreme Court already rejecting a request by the special counsel regarding his immunity, they basically said he had presidential immunity. When they overturn Colorado's decision, they're telling the world that the D.C. special counsel has no legitimacy. The entire basis of the D.C. special counsel is that he tried to foment a rebellion. He did nothing of the sort. He went through his attorneys, and he went through the courts. They're trying to literally criminalize his ability to go through the courts and through his attorneys. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.